Imagine a city where every inhabitant has an equal chance to succeed in life in a world where communities are dangerous and disconnected. A city where everyone is accepted and included and is always safe. Although such a paradise is not yet materialized, an American millionaire has set out to create a cutting-edge metropolis that is a model of equity, diversity, and inclusion. Join us today as we visit this brand new forthcoming metropolis, which is an American brainchild and will raise the bar for urban life around the world. The objective of billionaire Marc Lore's project, Telosa, a desert city that is currently being built in the United States, is to build a fairer and more sustainable future city that can serve as a model for future generations. You can anticipate that Telosa will be as vibrant and diverse as New York. It will be efficient, safe, and as clean as Tokyo, as well as having the excellent social services and governance model of Stockholm, thanks to Marc Lore's intention to combine and bring together the best quality seen in different cities around the world. It would be the world's most welcoming and inclusive metropolis. By 2050, this megacity project hopes to host 5 million people, with 50,000 projects to relocate during the initial stage of construction. The project's finalized site is still being determined. The project's planners will build the metropolis in the US's desert regions. The evident need for a city where people can feel included, protected, and readily get to their place of employment while living in residence, as well as a desire to feel linked to nature, gave rise to Marc Lore's concept of a desert city. Telosa, the name of this megacity, is derived from the ancient Greek term telos, which means the utmost goal. The project attempts to help everyone in society to realize their full potential and to unite people. Despite the fact that Telosa will be an idealistic metropolis, the desire to develop the desert city is grounded in reality. Because it will put people at the center of its mission and ideals, assuring a bright future for them, it is a unique notion. Telosa City's developers and planners are looking into Arizona, Idaho, and Nevada as potential locations, primarily in the Appalachian region, Texas, and Utah. The project will be built in 2 phases, with the first providing housing for 50,000 people on 1,500 acres, with all amenities by 2030. Within the following 40 years, the second phase hopes to have a population of 5 million. The first phase's master plan for Telosa was conceptualized by Danish architect Jaki Ingles and his company, the Jaki Ingles Group. The project's architecture revealed a number of digital renderings of green residential buildings and numerous open spaces in the city. The digital rendering also depicts the Equitism Tower, a proposed skyscraper that will have elevated water reservoirs, aeroponic farms, and a photovoltaic roof that will produce energy. The planned master plan is for a central observation tower to be surrounded by smaller residential buildings, as well as commercial, cultural, and medical institutions, all of which will be connected by rail and lush landscaping. As of now, Marc Lore has registered the term Telosa as a trademark and developed a website to market the product. They are also accepting applications from anyone who wants to live there, and once the site is finished, the project will start on-ground construction. The city's builders will be more environmentally conscious to ensure sustainability during the city's construction. Telosa City's first phase, which seeks to transfer 50,000 people by 2030, is anticipated to cost $25 billion. This mega desert city is anticipated to cost more than $400 billion in total. Along with government grants and subsidies, it would also be funded by philanthropic donations from individuals and businesses. Other billionaires have been motivated to develop similar innovative towns by the notion of Telosa, and there may be more such initiatives in the future. The futuristic linear city known as the Line in Saudi Arabia is an excellent example. The 150,000-hectare desert city project aims to provide environmentally friendly construction, sustainable energy production, and a drought-resistant water system. Within a 15 drive of their residences, residents of Telosa will have access to their places of employment, schools, and facilities thanks to urban planning. The project's goal is to offer locals and visitors first-rate encounters and innovative solutions that enhance their quality of life. It works to safeguard the environment and get the next generation ready for a better, more ethical future. Telosa will also prohibit the usage of fossil fuel-powered automobiles. If you're interested in learning more about multi-billion-dollar construction projects throughout the globe, consider subscribing to this channel to experience a luxurious world tour. Don't worry, you don't have to pay for your tickets. Bicycles, pedestrians, and slowly moving autonomous electric cars were given priority in Telosa's roadways in order to preserve the city's air quality. The city's planners underline that it is intended to be among the most environmentally friendly cities on the planet. Reuse, recycling, and the avoidance of resource extraction are all highly prioritized in Telosa. Every building in the city would have rooftop solar panels that provide sustainable energy, and the city will feature aeroponic farms to raise food that can be sold locally. Telosa will include plenty of native vegetation, parks, and green spaces while being an urban metropolis. The so-called superblocks, which restrict automobile traffic to major roads around the outside and give up entire groups of streets to pedestrians and bikes, are one of the innovative ideas presented for this metropolis. The goal is to lessen vehicular pollution and provide people with much-needed relief from noise pollution. They are created to make more open areas for residents to converse and engage in activities. With the help of Telosa's apps, all inhabitants will have access to city information, thanks to an advanced communications infrastructure that will lower the cost and increase the availability of wireless services. City services will be available immediately using next-generation infrastructure management systems. To provide better service, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, and enhanced monitor sensing will be used. The city will also include an underground mobility system to convey waste and other goods in a secure and hygienic manner. There will be plenty of room set aside in the city for educational institutions, healthcare facilities, cultural hubs, and other shops, all of which will be surrounded by shaded public areas. The housing alternatives included the master plan for Telosa support the idea of equities, which stands for equity, diversity, and inclusion. Despite the fact that anyone could develop and sell homes, Telosa would continue to own the land. In an ideal world, as the city expands, the land value will increase over time and be reinvested in the Telosa Foundation, which will use the proceeds to finance equal access to transportation, parks, safe streets, and decent schools. Citizens will be able to pursue greater prosperity that will be shared equally by all as a result. In the new desert world, all government meetings and financial decisions would be made in the open to ensure complete transparency. The current government lacks transparency in how it handles taxpayer money, which leads to fraud and resource waste. Marc Lore also wants to change the system of government in the desert city. Telosa City would be autonomous in terms of governance, and would simply aim to give its residents access to the best resources and possibilities. The construction of Telosa City would face numerous challenges, as this city will be based in a desert location. There is likely to be an insufficient supply of water for the city to function, so it will have to use 80% less water per person. Building a city in the desert from scratch doesn't sound like the most sustainable and doable idea. Many opponents of this proposed city claim that problems make cities of this type and these economic models ineffective. But Marc Lore hasn't let that stop him from pursuing his dream. Cities that have been built to date from scratch are more like real estate projects, Lore said in a promotional video for the project. They don't start with people at the center. Because you started with people at the center, you would immediately think, okay, what's the mission and what are the values? The mission of Telosa is to create a more equitable and sustainable future. That is our guiding star. It is not the only brand new city being developed by Ingel's company. It is also the one that notably built a ski slope atop a Copenhagen power plant and collaborated on the design of Google's new headquarters in California and London. Toyota, a Japanese automaker, disclosed in January 2020 that it had hired Big to design a master plan for a new city with 2,000 residents in the Mount Fuji foothills. Though somewhat smaller than Telosa, the Woven City project promises testing for driverless vehicles, smart technologies, and living supported by robots. What do you think about the $1 billion Desert City project? Let us know your views on this dream city in the comment section below. If you guys were spellbound by this amazing video, give this video a thumbs up. A wonderland? Not like the one in Alice in Wonderland. Telosa City will astound you in a greater degree. So, if you want to experience an Ultra Wonderland experience, bash the subscribe button.